Franz Wagner is becoming simply undeniable Eastern Conference Player of the Week this week, All-Star very, very soon. Today on Locked On Magic.
You are Locked On Magic, your daily Orlando Magic podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And you are indeed Locked On Magic. Today is November 19th, 2024. My name is Philip Rossman-Reich. I'm the senior writer over at OrlandoMagicDaily.com. Of course, follow me on Twitter at PhilipRR_OMD. On today's episode of Locked On Magic, Franz Wagner gets the national accolade that we all know he deserves and makes a strong case for why he is going to be in the showcase game in San Francisco as the Orlando Magic extend their win streak to 6 games. We'll get to that coming up here in just a moment. First, we want to thank you again for making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. No matter when you listen to us, whether it's first in the morning, whether it's right when we upload, we truly appreciate you making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. And you can make Locked On Magic an even bigger part of your day with the Locked On Magic Daily newsletter. The one-stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com and start your day with the all-new free Locked On Magic newsletter. Today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by our friends at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. We've gone through this a few times already this week, or over the last week, where we take what Franz Wagner is doing for granted, where I highlight some other issues, some other things, some other element of the game, and leave Franz Wagner for the box score section in the third part, and be like, Franz Wagner had 29, 8, and 6. At this point, that's what we expect from Franz. We take it for granted almost that he's going to put in some crazy, crazy numbers, some crazy individual numbers as part of a Magic win. This can't go on forever, right? Some of this, we're gonna not have this kind of a game from him and be like, okay, that was really special. So let's correct that today. Let's correct that and show some appreciation for Franz Wagner. Show some appreciation for what he's doing and what it means for this team, both short-term and long-term. Franz Wagner had another stellar game on Monday. 32 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 12 for 24 shooting, 4 for 8 from 3. This on the heels of being named Eastern Conference Player of the Week. 30.7 points per game, 7.3 rebounds per game, and 5.7 assists per game in his last 3 games to get the award. In fact, over what is now a 6-game win streak, Franz Wagner is averaging 29 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, and 6.3 assists per game, and shooting 47% from the floor and 37% from 3 on 7.7 attempts per game. Something has been unlocked in Franz Wagner. Something has changed. And it's not just Paolo's out, someone's got to step up. That's certainly a part of this. But we've been asking Franz to be this aggressive before. We've wanted Franz, hey, add that mid-range shot. Seek your own shot. Everybody wanted to see this version of Franz Wagner, and he gets plenty of opportunity to do it as the anchor of that bench group. But now guardrails are off. Now he's allowed to do it. Now the team needs him to do this. Now the team needs him, quite frankly, for no other way to describe it, need him to be an all-star, a superstar, however you want to describe it. Franz Wagner has put himself in this spot. He has been given this opportunity. The Magic needed him to deliver, and he has delivered. So yes, Anthony Block was amazing. Yes, Goga Bitadze was amazing. Yes, the defense did the job again. We'll talk more about that here in a minute. We're going to shove those to the side. But whatever the Magic needed from Franz Wagner delivered. And that is what an all-star does. An all-star stacks good games over good games, becomes consistent. And when Franz entered this critical part of his schedule, of his season, he started putting good games together and has not stopped. Now the Magic do rely on him for 25, 26, 27, 28, 30 points per game. They do rely on him for 7, 8 rebounds, 5, 6 assists. They rely on him to do everything. And even now his defenses try to start throwing more at him to slow him down. He's still beating it because that's what all-stars do. Over the weekend, the NBA, it was reported that the NBA is considering different formats for the All-Star game. I don't really care what the format for the game is. What I care is the honor that comes with it. The honorific that is being an All-Star. Franz Wagner is going to be an All-Star. Full stop. Will he get voted in? Probably not. The coaches will absolutely put him in. And if the Magic are sitting in 3rd in the Eastern Conference or 4th in the Eastern Conference, whatever it may be, when the coaches vote in late January, and the way the Magic are playing, there's no reason to think they will not be in that running. Wherever the Magic are, Franz Wagner will be representing this team. Put it in ink. Put it in ink. And it's not just that I believe this. It's not just that I'm calling the race now. It's that Franz Wagner is scoring with efficiency, is attacking, is doing whatever his team needs to win. And to me, that is the most impressive thing. Early in the game, the Magic were trying to get Jalen Suggs going. He scored 7 of his 12 points really within the first few minutes. And Franz understood and saw, I'm getting doubled on every pick and roll. They're blitzing every pick and roll. Let me move the ball, get Phoenix in a rotation, and get good shots. Even though Orlando was missing threes, they were still getting into the paint with their passing. And with Franz Wagner not getting the assist. He had 8 assists. He had 2 assists in each quarter. He was moving the ball a lot better. A lot more than that. Taking that pressure and forcing Phoenix to rotate, where the Magic punished them, especially on the inside with Goga Bitadze around the basket. As the game wore on, though, the Magic did need Franz's scoring. And when Orlando took firm control of the game, going up by 16 at the half, a lot of it was because of Franz Wagner. 13 points, 3 for 3 3-point shooting in the second quarter, including a step-back 3 at the halftime buzzer, essentially the halftime buzzer, that put the Magic up by 16, a 38-26 second quarter. In the fourth quarter, with the Magic holding on to an 11, 12-point lead and Phoenix making a push through a very stagnant offense in the fourth quarter, Franz Wagner scored 10 points. And he did that because the Magic were picking up matchups, getting Tyus Jones switched onto him. And Franz just went to work, breaking him down, getting to his spots, getting shots that were comfortable to him before the Suns defense knew how to react. Beyond the stats, beyond the numbers, this kind of control is what all-stars do, is what stars do. And Franz Wagner has clearly put himself in that category this year. Franz Wagner has clearly elevated his game to that level. This is stuff we expect from him now. We expect amazing games. And when Paolo gets back, yeah, he may not score 28, 8, and 7 every game. But this level of play needs to keep going. Franz is making a clear case that he is an all-star today. And it's going to be really, really hard to see the East locking him out of that spot with the way that he's playing, because it does not seem like this is going to stop anytime soon. And we need to spend the time appreciating what we're watching before it feels too normal. We'll go through the box score next, talk a little bit about the other great performances and the difficulties of this Magic win over the Suns. We'll get to that coming up here in just a moment. But first, today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. With Prize Picks, daily fantasy is truly made easy. You don't have to worry about these giant player pools. You don't need to worry about the weird salary cap system or trying to figure out what scoring is in the league that you're playing in or the contest that you're playing in. Prize Picks keeps it simple. Always keep it simple. There's nothing wrong with simple. All you have to do is pick more than or less than on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. With Prize Picks, you could get in on the action in over 30 states, including Florida. It's the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy so that your lineup stays in play, even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps that lineup alive and returns that pick to you. Prize Picks even has great payout options with like their flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. And you can double your money even if one of your players doesn't hit. That's the beauty of Prize Picks. I play Prize Picks. It's my daily fantasy game of choice. It's just playing more than or less than. It's really, really simple. And yeah, even on a pick of 5 or 6 players, even on a grouping of 5 or 6 players, it's frankly really easy to make your money back. It isn't like, again, those other daily fantasy games where you're just scrounging to get $1, $2, whatever you're trying to do to get your money back. Prize Picks makes the game simple and easy to win. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. The Orlando Magic defeat the Phoenix Suns 109-99. On the surface, a really, really solid effort from the Orlando Magic. On the surface, there's not a lot to complain about. The defense locked in when it needed to lock in. The offense found its footing, especially in that second quarter when it needed to find its footing. The Magic did a lot of really good things in this game. And again, they built a 16-point lead in the first half. They led pretty much the entire way. Phoenix took a brief lead in the first quarter, but the Magic got off to a great start, which they haven't been doing very much lately. They survived their 3-point shooting being bad, to be frank. They found their groove. They found their rhythm. They found what they needed to do to win. So a lot to like in this game. And again, Franz Wagner, 32 points, 12 for 24 shooting, 4 for 8 from 3, 4 for 5 from the line, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. The dude did everything. The dude was everywhere. Again, just a star-making performance. But obviously, he did not do it alone. And there were a lot of really good efforts defensively and offensively that helped the Magic win this game and win it fairly comfortably. I'll talk a little bit in a minute about areas where they sort of struggled. Let's start with Anthony Black. 20 points, 5 for 10 shooting, 5 for 7, or 3 for 5 from 3, 7 for 8 from the foul line, 4 rebounds, career high, 9 assists, added 3 steals for good measure. When Anthony Black gets confidence, he is really, really special. And we've heard several players say this already this year, how they're encouraging Anthony Black to attack downhill. They know when he can get his shoulders downhill, when he can get his shoulders past his man, no one's going to stop him from getting all the way to the basket. And look, I love that he's shooting threes. Keep shooting those threes, kid. 3 for 5 is awesome. He made his shots, and that's when he has his big games. He is so good at getting downhill to the basket and using the speed and mixing up his speed. He's going to get a lot better. He's not a final product yet, but AB has been a game changer for this team. And we'll talk maybe a little bit more about that, in the near future. AB has been a game changer for this team. If you go back and look at Magic wins, you'll probably see that Anthony Black played really well. During the 5-game losing streak, he did not play very well. He looked a little tentative, unsure of himself. He really wasn't hitting his shots. This team has gone this year how AB goes. And again, he's a guy, he's coming off the bench, but the Magic have him closing games because he's been so good defensively and so good getting downhill to the basket. This was about as well as AB has played all year overall from start to finish. This was a career game for Anthony Black, and hopefully it's a sign that he's going to continue to build on this and stack some of these days. Goga Bitadze, a really nice game as well. 17 points, 10 rebounds, 7 for 8 shooting. What Goga does really well, and we'll dive into this debate when we have an off day here. It won't be tomorrow. Got another planned for tomorrow's episode, but Goga Bitadze, he knows his role really well. And he does a really good job just sitting in the dunker spot, waiting for those dump downs, waiting for Franz or Paolo or whoever it is to draw 2 to them, and knows he's going to get the pass. And that's such a big thing. He isn't trying to pop. He's shot a few jumpers this year, but he's not trying to do that. And he does a really good job, and especially against the smaller Phoenix team without Yusuf Nurkic, he did a really good job working his way around the basket, getting offensive rebounds, getting those kind of tip-ins and putbacks. And it's okay to build your offense around that. He knows that's what he's good at. He knows that's his value to this team. And so he played that value. He played it exactly how he has to. Bitadze added a few nice blocks. He had 2 blocks on the game. Did a solid job defensively as that backline defender. We'll talk about some of those issues coming up here in a minute. But Bitadze, another really fine, solid game. He's not having anything run for him. He's just cleaning up and taking care of his business. Jalen Suggs had a very up and down game as well. 12 points, 4 for 11 shooting, 2 for 7 from 3. Did have 3 turnovers, added 2 blocks as well. Suggs, again, is still a little all over the place, I think. I've described him as playing a little too over his skis, like he feels like he's playing too fast. I think the Magic made a point to get him a bunch of shots early. I had a few people text me saying, why is Jalen Suggs taking all these shots? It's just like they're clearly trying to get him going to ease pressure off Franz. And look, guess what? It kind of worked. He scored 7 of his 12 points in the first few minutes of the game. He took care of his business and gotten himself going. And, I can't be upset about it. I can't be upset about how he played. The efficiency's got to be there. He's got to start making shots. 5 of his 7 misses are threes. He's got to start making threes. If you subscribe to the Locked On Magic newsletter, I discussed a little bit on the newsletter about Suggs' struggles since Paolo went out. If the thing we learned during this whole scenario, this whole process is Suggs isn't that second guy and isn't able to step up into that kind of secondary scorer role that the Magic need right now, that's fine if that's what they learn. If that's what they learn, then we know what the Magic need to try and find out in the trade market or in free agency or wherever in the next phase of this team. He's still defending really, really well. And this is an important point. Devin Booker and Tyus Jones combined for 35 points. Jones at 18, Booker at 17. They shot a combined 5 for 18 from 3, with Tyus Jones making 3 of 5 in the first quarter. He was 1 for 6 for the rest of the game. They combined to shoot 12 for 31. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black, whoever was guarding those 2, absolutely shut them down. And yeah, Tyus Jones got free a little bit in the first quarter. Some of it was Jalen Suggs was playing too far off him to try and help defense. But they did a really good job on the Suns' 2 key players and just made it hard for them to operate and made it hard for them to find traction and find a rhythm. So credit to the Magic's defense. I'll talk a little about some issues I had with the Magic's defense. The over-helping off the corner was one of them. But overall, just again, Jalen Suggs out there to defend first and foremost. He defended well and just struggling to kind of get over that next hump. KCP, really nice game for Kenny. 9 points, 3 for 5 shooting, 1 for 2 from 3. I know everyone wants to see that 3-point shot go up, but really for the first time, Kenny was really favoring his right elbow a lot more and noticeably favoring it, noticeably kind of reaching at it and rubbing it. Maybe that explains his shooting issues. But I would say this, Kenny is starting to stack good shooting games together. I know he's not maybe scoring the way everyone wants him to or shooting the 3 the way everyone wants him to, but this is the kind of game you're getting from Kenny. About 10, 11, 12 points, 2 for 4, 2 for 5, 3 for 5 from 3, 3 for 6, 3 for 7. You'd like him to be like 3 for 7. That's kind of what you're getting from Kenny. I think he's doing a good job finding other ways to score, finding other ways to find his shot when he gets the ball and scoring opportunities, but he's not trying to do too much. So I thought this was a solid game from him. Off the bench, Mo Wagner had 9 points, typical Mo Wagner stuff there. Jonathan Isaac with 7 points, 3 for 6 shooting, 3 assists, 3 blocks, doing Jonathan Isaac things. So let's talk about the defense. Before we talk about the defense, Orlando shoots 51.3% from the floor, 37.9% from 3, 20 for 25 from the foul line. They have 11 turnovers for 15 points, so they do a good job on that front. So let's talk about the defense then. Let's talk about whether the Magic actually played good defense. Yes, they played good defense. Don't let me undersell this. 6th straight game giving up fewer than 100 points. They're the first team to do that since 2018. The first Magic team to do that since 2016. They gave up 42.2% shooting, 12 for 41 from 3. That's 29.3%. They gave up 25 free throws, but good free throw defense, 17 for 25 from the foul line. They forced 13 turnovers for 16 points. The Magic did a lot of good things defensively. Like I said, Tyus Jones shoots 7 for 14. Devin Booker shoots 5 for 14. That sort of cuts the Suns off at the knee. They did not get a lot of production from their 2 best players. And with all the injuries they're facing, that's a big deal. Phoenix, though, had a really effective game. And I suspect that if Phoenix weren't so injured, no Kevin Durant, no Bradley Beal, no Yusuf Nurkic especially, if the Suns were not on a back-to-back from Minneapolis after a week-long road trip, I think the Magic would have been in trouble in this one. The Suns did get a lot of open shots that they missed. Magic experienced that all the time. You can win without that. They got 16 offensive rebounds and 20 second chance points off those 16 offensive rebounds. The Magic looked flat-footed, frankly, on their rebounds and on their rebounding efforts. And look, this is a top defensive rebounding team in the league by defensive rebound rate. This game is an anomaly. I'm not super worried about it. But Orlando's efforts to double Devin Booker, Phoenix's ability to have 5 shooters on the floor, their willingness to shoot a ton of threes, stretched this Magic team out a little bit, and Phoenix outworked Orlando in this one particular area. Now, did they take advantage of it? Not completely, but the reason this was a 10-point win instead of a 20, 25-point win, when the Magic really did play at a 20, 25-point win margin, it's because the Suns outworked them on the offensive glass. It's because the Magic were, at times and for noticeably longer stretches, late on their rotations and giving up free runs to the basket on pick and rolls. They just got stretched out a little bit. And maybe that's something peculiar about the Suns team. Again, the Magic looked very flat-footed to me. I didn't think their defensive energy was there all the time. They still made great defensive plays. They still played defense well enough, long enough to win this game and win it comfortably. So nothing to be alarmed about, nothing to be concerned about. But, we're playing to a standard here. We're not playing our opponent. We're playing to a standard. We have a high standard for this team's defense. We believe in what this defense can accomplish. So, I want to see this team play to that level. And credit to the Magic, give up a lot of offensive rebounds, still fight and still scratch and claw their way to a good defensive outing. Phoenix had a 110 offensive rating in this game. That's good for the league. That's not good enough for the Magic. That's not, the Magic are what, 106, 107 maybe? The Magic know they can defend a lot better. I am sure when they do their tape review on Tuesday, there will be a lot of, hey, we've got to be better at this. Good to do this all in a win. Do not get me wrong. I'm not complaining about that. But we expect more from this Magic defense. And while they played plenty well enough to win, they left a lot of holes and left a lot to be desired that is at least worth mentioning and at least worth saying here. The Orlando Magic defeat the Phoenix Suns 109-99. The win streak extends to 6 games. Second road win of the season. First on this road trip. They're back in action Wednesday against the LA Clippers. But before we leave today, Paolo Banchero dropping some news, or dropping at least a hope. What is his timeline to return? Paolo had some ideas. We'll get to that coming up here in just a moment. But first, today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Tuesday is an NBA Cup day. Coming up in East Group A, you have the Charlotte Hornets at the Brooklyn Nets. They're both kind of out of it. That's East Group A for Tuesday. So you can kind of sit easy, enjoy that Celtics-Cavs game. The Celtics 5-point favorites over the Cavs. The Orlando Magic, though, continuing to climb the odds to win the NBA Cup at plus 250 to win East Group A. Everything's going to come down to that game December 3rd against the New York Knicks. Or, if you're ready for it, the Magic currently are plus 3,800. Still worse odds than the Milwaukee Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers to win the NBA Finals. It's 38-1 odds for the Magic to win the championship right now. In fact, if you wanted to bet this, I'm trying to see if they have this. They have the predicted finals matchups. I'm not seeing the Orlando Magic on here quite yet. But if you wanted to bet that who the Magic are going to play when they reach the NBA Finals, you can do that now too on FanDuel. FanDuel has so many great odds, not just basketball, football, but so much more. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. So head over to FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Usually we reserve this last segment for the box score. We're doing the box score early because we got a sneak peek of some news coming up, or at least some hopes and dreams coming up. As you may know, Paolo Banchero is doing a video diary with Mark Spears of Anscape throughout the course of the season. Had a really good first entry, both written and video, back before the season started, or like right after the season started, after opening night. The next edition of it is slated to come out Thursday. And ESPN did a little preview of Mark Spears' sit down with Paolo Banchero now that he's dealing with the injury. So we'll hear from Paolo a little bit more about what being injured has been like and what he's been trying to do and all that. But Paolo said in the video, in the preview clip, I'm feeling really good. I am hopeful and I believe I will be back before Christmas. Obviously, if Arnie tells me that, and I'm paraphrasing here, obviously, if Arnie tells me that I can't go on Christmas, I'll sit out. I'll take my time, but I'm feeling really good. I've told everyone this essentially. If you can go back and listen to early pods. Paolo will get reevaluated here in the next 2 weeks, about 2 to 3 weeks from now. We'll get an update and get a reevaluation from Paolo and see how that injury is healing. Paolo, I think, said he's not been. I think Mark Spears said in the follow up on NBA Today that Paolo is not running. He's not really able to do anything on the court yet. It's just a weird injury. You get aggravated very, very easily. Your oblique is a muscle like right on the side of your back. It's needed for everything. So you got to be a little patient with it and let it heal on its own. Paolo, though, says he's feeling really good. You see him on the bench at games. He's still traveling with the team. So he's not too disconnected from the group. And he says he's feeling great. You see him pop up off the bench all the time. You see him up and about, talking with coaches, being with his teammates. Took a technical foul on Friday. All outward signs are that Paolo is doing pretty good and in pretty good spirits. Obviously, the next phase is, okay, how is the injury actually healing? And that's what we'll find out in two to 3 more weeks. And then beyond that, how long would it take him to get back onto the court? Once that injury is healed, he'll get the all clear to start running, to start kind of rebuilding his conditioning. It's going to take a little while. So when the Magic announced that 4 to 6 week time frame for him to be reevaluated, immediately it was like, okay, he's gone until at least December, if not mid-December. Then he's going to need a week or two to get back onto the court and rebuild conditioning and get ready to play again. I have always targeted Christmas as the earliest that he would come back. Around Christmas. I'm not going to say Christmas Day, but around Christmas would be the earliest that he would return. I don't think it'd be smart to put a date on it beyond Christmas or New Year's Day, like somewhere in that vicinity. Because we don't know really how he's faring. Honestly, like, Paolo saying this is both encouraging because he knows that timeline. He knows that that's kind of a good target date. But by the same token, very clearly, Paolo doesn't know where he's at. He could be feeling great and the injury's not healing. And if the injury's not healing, then that means they need to explore other treatment options. For now, of course, the hope is that the treatment is going well, that it's taking care of the tear. It's taking care of the injury, that it's healing on its own, and that once it's healed on its own, he's strong enough to get back on the court and be Paolo Banchero and play Paolo Banchero basketball. Right now, the Magic are doing fine. Wendell Carter was upgraded to doubtful for Monday's game. I imagine he'll be doubtful again for Wednesday and Thursday, but it does seem like Wendell Carter is trending toward a return. And yeah, as we get closer to that return from his plantar fasciitis, we'll discuss whether the Magic should even go back to him, whether the Magic should stick with Goga Bitadze. That is a fair debate to have. But we're not there yet. Wendell's still got to get back on the court a little bit more, but he's clearly getting there. But the benefit of the Magic winning and playing the way that they've played over the last week and a half now is that the Magic don't need to rush these guys. They're not losing ground. They're still winning. They'll be better because they have Wendell Carter and certainly because they have Paolo Banchero. Let these guys fully recover. Take that extra day, those extra days, a few games maybe, to get all the way back so that you can help your team and be 100% and so that you're not leaving the lineup. I would love to have Paolo back by Christmas. I think that has always been sort of the target range of when he would return. But there's no reason to rush this either. There's no reason for Paolo to run back only to re-aggravate the injury. He'll get there. I'm not worried about him getting there. He will get there. But we got to wait for him to do so. We've got to do it on his body's time, not on his time, not on anyone else's time. But it's great to hear him feeling that optimistic. It's great to hear him say that he's feeling better. And now we can all have another reason to grab our advent calendars and count the days because Paolo Banchero's return is coming probably in the next 5 to 6 weeks. Magic's done well to survive. We're probably a month and a half away from his triumphant return. But that's going to do it for me today. I want to thank you all again for listening to today's episode of Locked On Magic. Of course, find me on Twitter at @PhilipR_OMD and on Blue Sky at PhilipRR. You can download our podcast wherever you download podcasts, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Himalaya, Google Play, Spotify, Odyssey. All of them is on the podcast to your podcast-enabled device. And for the latest on the Orlando Magic, be sure to check out OrlandoMagicDaily.com. You can find us there on Twitter at OMagicDaily. For even more Orlando Magic content, including a video breakdown of how Franz Wagner is taking on the role of stardom, it's pinned to the top. It is free for you to watch. Check out my Patreon page, the Orlando Magic Hub, at patreon.com/Orlando Magic Hub. As always, thank you for your support. As if that's not enough, your favorite podcast now has a newsletter, which I'm going to be writing right after I finish recording this. Introducing the Locked On Magic Daily newsletter, the one-stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. and start your day with the all-new free Locked On Magic newsletter. Like I said, I want to thank you all for your patience. West Coast games tend to wear me out, tend to go to sleep earlier than I tend to go to sleep, tend to want to go to sleep. We all do. So I appreciate everyone dealing with morning episodes, maybe some later morning episodes. I know I'm publishing this at around 8:30-ish, 8:45-ish in the morning. So I apologize for being a little tardy and ruining a little bit of your normal routine with Locked On Magic. I truly appreciate that. I'm human. I need sleep too. We'll be back tomorrow with an episode on our regular time, talking about early impressions of this Magic team. So definitely subscribe, be alerted when that goes up. That should go. I'm hoping that'll be up in the evening. So this episode doesn't have as much life as I would like, but say la vie, it's the West Coast. Until next time, though, for Orlando Magic Daily and Locked On Magic, this has been Phil Prosper Knight. We'll see you all again next time for another episode of Locked On Magic.